And welcome back to Attorneys on Call. Once again, at any time, call the 800 number on your screen or go to the website. If you're just tuning in, thank you for coming. But let me just tell you, we're talking about a very important topic today. Toxic water at Camp Lejeune here in North Carolina, the Marine base down in Jacksonville. And there was initially, was from 1953 to 1987. A lot of people were adversely affected by toxic water at that Marine base. Now, a new law has been passed, and now there's a 2-year period for people to file a new claim, people that have been affected by this.
Right. Drew, this is a new law that has established a new claim. This is different than the VA benefits that have already been out there, and we want everybody to know about this because it could potentially affect their families. It can affect people that were contractors that were on the base between that period of time, as long as it was for 30 days. People that had birth defects or even in utero during that time. And it's something that families should just sit and talk about and discover if they potentially would qualify for this case.
So, Stacy, let me ask you, like, let's say someone was a woman, maybe a Marine spouse was located there on the base and had a miscarriage or something like that, or like you said, the in vitro went south. They have a claim.
They do have a claim. And if you were at Camp Lejeune during that time period and maybe your loved one has passed and they're no longer with us today, you still have a claim.
How does that work?
It's a wrongful death claim. So if they died as a result of the cancer they contracted from the toxicity in the water, their claim is revived for 2 years. For 2 years, Drew.
Okay, so that's important to know, right? So you've got that 2-year period here. Ben, in a case of someone like Stacy was just talking about who passed away due to a problem from the toxic water, is that harder for you to prove that?
Well, the new law, it really has focused on making it so that folks don't have to jump through all of the normal hoops as far as proving the connection. Now, they still have to prove damages. They still have to prove how they were hurt.
Right.
But if their cancer or their illness was on a kind of a predetermined list of what the science has already told us that these chemicals cause, then we don't believe, and again, this is still a new process, but we don't believe that there's going to be as much of a challenge getting that proven, or at least the expense.
So I'm a layperson, obviously, but the statute was written differently, is what you're saying?
Well, yes. The statute, we call this in the legal community causation, that A cause B to happen. Okay. And you have to prove that, and that often is where the fight is, and that's often where the expense comes into play in medicine.
Okay.
Because you have to call doctors to prove these things.
Okay.
And so, but the law is written that if you have one of these enumerated conditions, and you can see them on the website, and it's presumed to have been caused by the water toxicity at Camp Lejeune.
Once again, LejeuneRelief.com is the website to go to. Let's show you that other graphic that talks about the different problems that people have faced, number one being cancer.
Cancer is a big one.
I mean, cancer is never good, but the fact that you're serving your country, you're a Marine or a spouse, or you're serving your country, you're on this base, and you get cancer because of bad water. That's just unfathomable.
Well, they knew it, and it was there for a long time. And I applaud the representatives that have got behind this to do something for these folks, and they have. And these folks have been needing this relief for a long time.
People that contact your firm, it's always free, that free consultation.
Right.
How do people go about contacting you?
I've got a couple of ways. Always can call the 800 number. I've got trained representatives, folks that work for me, that know about the law, that know about these medical issues. They know the questions to ask. They know the questions to ask. They can tell you, usually right there on the phone, whether or not you qualify or not, if it's a medical issue that we can help you with. And if you do qualify, you can retain us. It's done, a lot of times it's done through electronic, right on the phone. Or they can come into any of our offices, even including down in Jacksonville, and then they will become a client of ours. They don't have to pay any money up front, and Stacy and I will not be paid anything unless we win the case, either through a settlement with the government or a trial right there in the Eastern District. I got an Eastern District gunslinger right here.
Stacy, we hear that a lot. People will say, what's this going to cost me?
Nothing.
There you go.
And these are North Carolina cases in North Carolina courtrooms, in front of North Carolina juries, in front of North Carolina judges. we think they're better served with North Carolina lawyers.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, this is such an important topic that we're talking about. And please go to LejeuneRelief.com to get some great information. Ben, just got about a minute left to wrap things up.
Sure. We go to the website at the LejeuneRelief.com. I've got the listed issues that are out there that you can learn about. There's also a way, folks, if they don't want to have to get on the phone and they don't feel comfortable talking, I've got a form they can fill out.
Okay.
And that goes right to those same people that can immediately respond. I tell them I want people to respond as quick as possible to get information, because this is all about information so that people can make informed decisions. But the time limit is narrow. When I know 2 years sounds like a long time, it's not.
Stacy, thank you so much for being here today. Stacy Miller with the Miller Law Group. Ben, always a pleasure to be with you as well. Once again, this is Attorneys on Call. We thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time right here. Have a great one, everybody.